Thank you very much. We have time for questions from the audience. We have around 10 minutes for questions, and also we can have a dialogue and an exchange of observations among the panelists. I will go back to the economy and influence. It will be very interesting.
Pablo cannot say it, but those that are outside could say so. We should study the impact that the risk would have, the reduction that this would have, an economic impact reduction. Now they buy less vaccines, not because they don't want to buy them, but they don't have the money to do so. I think that it is interesting to see it from an economic perspective of risk. They're saving, a bad saving, and we should be prepared. There's no way around. If you don't have a vaccinated population, is much more vulnerable than if they have the vaccine or they're vaccinated. Thank you, Juan Garza from Zootechnia. I will speak as a veterinarian. And I will touch a point that has to do with pandemics and diabetes. Diabetes first. Diabetes requires an interinstitutional, interdisciplinary, intersectoral action, and it has circumscribed, at least in Mexico, in the Ministry of Health and the entities that are around the Ministry of Health. Now, we have to incorporate the participation of the Ministry of Culture, Development, Cattle and Breeding, the SAGARPA, because in the Ministry of Agriculture in the United States, they do a promotion about the different products that should be consumed and which are the products that should be produced, vegetables and fruits in Mexico, because of international or economic value of the products. One topic. Second topic. Then the Secretary of Social Development, SEDESOL, has within the working programs the National Program Against Hunger, where they share and they spread about, they give different types of food packages, and they don't have nutritional quality, so they incorporate within the food packages that they're giving away the population, the vulnerable population from a nutritional standpoint. We are giving products that will foster and develop obesity. Here we have to grow more. And as a fanatic of the topic of good health, I'm interested in pandemics. Pandemics matter. 80% of the infectious agents come from animals, and that is zoonosis. Epidemiologic surveillance should be done in the causes, the origin of the cause, and we're not having the collaboration with Semarnat, with the environment, with SAGARPA, so as to avoid zoonosis in the animals. Thus, we maintain a response capacity which is rather late. If the outbreaks of influenza in birds and in other animals, they would be vaccinated, we would avoid many viral multiplication and mutation possibilities that would foster and develop the change of the animal species to humans, and the fact that they could be transmissible amongst humans. There is an intersector action where the universities can propose things so as to foster and develop this collaboration that up to now it has not been given in an optimum way. Well said, and we totally agree. Dr. Palacios, Gomez Palacios, I want to talk about the role of the different vaccines in the pandemics problems. And the role of of other problems, important problems, so as to mitigate these epidemics. It is important, by all means, to be prepared with vaccines. It is. And it's not only vaccines, which we don't know which will they be, but the infrastructure for the production of vaccines. Epidemics, particularly influenza, are bimodal or by different waves. The first wave is an explosive wave, but very, very short. Then we have, like month later, so the next year perhaps, there's one, aside from being explosive, it is very broad. There is where we should be prepared. If we would have the infrastructure for the production of vaccines, we should avoid the second wave, which is massive and having a great death rate. So vaccines play an important role, but the preparation should be different, by all means. Third, intervention with drugs. That is in the first stage, first wave. The example, we had it in Mexico. Death rate that we had in Mexico by H1N1 was 10 times greater than the one that they had in the United States. The reason was the access to antiviral drugs and education on doctors giving timely treatment without a definite diagnosis. In Mexico, we didn't have the drug. The number of dosages that they gave at the beginning of the pandemics because of H1N1 was practically useless. It didn't count. The doctors, and this is a disease that is still taken care of on the first level. The general doctors didn't know how to deal with influenza, and they didn't have access to the drug. That's one thing. And that is another participation that we should bear in mind. That's the second one. And the third one, it was generated as a consequence of that, the collaboration between NIH and the institutes. We generated a working group, and we called this group the Working Group of Clinical Investigation on Emergent Diseases or Emergent Infections. It is important to have this type of organizations because we don't know how to handle these diseases. So we have to develop research, we have to develop immediate research so as to be able to know the process of the disease and how to face the disease, how to respond to it. A very important group that was affected was the heavy patient, the obese patient. We didn't know what dosage of antiviral. We thought that we should give higher dosage, and then at the long run, it was not the case. Pregnant women, it was an affected group, and we didn't know at that moment. It was contraindicated the use of cetamivir in pregnant women, and we could have given an immediate response if we would have had this group of clinical investigation giving us an immediate response, and many components should be taken care of.
Dr. Palacios, Janet, welcome. The bad news is that you missed the most fascinating and informative panel ever. But the good news is that the whole panel has been videotaped, and you will be able to see all the wisdom emanating from this fantastic group later on.
Excellent.
And even better, the next panel just is starting now, so you will be able to enjoy the second panel. You will have simultaneous translation. We have been using mother's tongue, so it's indistinct. And welcome here. And again, Rector Graue, President Napolitano, thank you so much for being here. And thank you all. Join me in saying